The last message. Sitting alone in his room, Jason received a text from an unknown number. Don't go outside. Confused, he ignored it. Minutes later, he heard a faint knock on his door. It grew louder and more insistent. Heart pounding, he glanced at his phone again. They're coming for you. The knocking stopped, replaced by silence. Jason hesitated, then opened the door. Nothing. Just as he sighed in relief, he felt a cold hand on his shoulder. The mirror. Lena found an old mirror at a thrift store and decided to hang it in her bedroom. That night, she noticed something odd. Her reflection smiled back at her even when she wasn't smiling. She tried to ignore it, chalking it up to fatigue. But every night the reflection's smile grew wider, more sinister. One evening, she covered the mirror with a sheet, but the next morning, the sheet was gone. The mirror was cracked, and scrawled across it in a jagged script were the words, "Set me free." The elevator. Mark entered the elevator on the 10th floor, heading down. The doors started to close when a hand shot in, stopping them. A man stepped inside wearing a trench coat and a wide-brimmed hat. Mark pressed the ground floor button, but the elevator didn't move. The man in the coat grinned. "Wrong button," he said, pressing the 13th floor, a floor that wasn't supposed to exist. The elevator ascended, and when the doors opened, Mark found himself staring into an abyss. The photo album. While cleaning out her grandmother's attic, Emma discovered an old photo album. As she flipped through the pages, she saw familiar faces of relatives she had never met. But there were also photos of people she didn't recognize. One picture showed her grandmother with a strange, smiling man. Curious, Emma asked her grandmother about the man. Her grandmother went pale and whispered, "He was never supposed to be photographed. He comes for those who see him." That night, Emma woke to find the man standing at the foot of her bed, smiling. The stranger. Walking home late one night, Sarah noticed a man following her. She quickened her pace, turning corners and ducking into alleys, but he remained close behind. She finally reached her apartment building, rushed inside, and locked the door. Breathing a sigh of relief, she turned around to find the man standing in her living room. "How did you get in here?" she stammered. The man smiled and replied, "I've always been here.